Again tonight with the latest developments in what started as a double homicide in Minneapolis and ended in a shootout with police in Brooklyn Center. Tonight we've learned the suspect died after that shootout. Thanks for joining us on air and streaming on KARE 11 Plus. I'm Rena Sargentopoulos. Police tell us they believe the suspect, who was just released from jail, targeted his cousins, including a teenager. This all developed over the course of less than an hour. We do have team coverage for you, starting with Gordon Severson, who's live in Minneapolis with the latest on the double homicide. Gordon?
Yeah, Rena, police say that the suspect in this double homicide was released from jail here in downtown Minneapolis this afternoon. And then almost immediately, police say he went to a home in the 4200 block of Irving Avenue to shoot and kill two of his cousins, a 23-year-old man and a 14-year-old boy.
The family is very distraught.
A home filled with family members was the scene of a double homicide in North Minneapolis. Besides the two cousins who were killed, police say their grandmother was also in the home, taking care of 4 young children when the shots were fired.
There was also a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9, and 10-year-old inside the house at the time. Thank God they were not physically injured.
Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara says the suspected shooter was arrested back on February 15th on warrants for fleeing police and possessing an illegally modified handgun. O'Hara says family members believe the shooter may have targeted his cousins because he felt they were somehow involved in his arrest.
There's nothing to indicate that his cousins had anything to do with him being arrested.
O'Hara says the shooter took off immediately after the shooting, and while police surrounded the home to investigate, another man showed up at the crime scene with a gun.
We do not believe he is involved in the double murder. He came to the scene afterwards armed with a handgun.
Police say this second man was booked into the jail for assault and obstruction charges. No word on how he's connected to the shooter and the family. A family that is now forever changed.
Grandmother with children in the home, that's obviously supposed to be a very safe place. I can't imagine what grandma and this family is going through right now.
Now, the chief also added that his officers have had run-ins with this suspect in the past. Besides the arrest that happened on the 15th, he says there have been other issues, but none as serious as what we saw here today.
All right, Gordon, my goodness, that grandmother and those other kids, thankfully they were not hurt. Let's head out to Morgan Wolf now, who is live in Brooklyn Center with more on the suspect's alleged shootout with police. Morgan?
Well, Rena, here we are 6 hours later, and the police tape is still up in Brooklyn Center. We have BCA investigators here right now canvassing the scene, collecting all of the evidence for their investigation, and that includes some shell casings that are still out here on the street right now. Tonight, officers of the Brooklyn Center Police Department are on critical incident leave following the shooting.
Just before 4 p.m., officers were called to the business district near the Old Brookdale Mall for a man waving a handgun outside of stores. Brooklyn Center police say that when officers got to the scene, they were confronted by an armed man. Witnesses described what they saw.
They were running. After that, the police was trying to catch him and stop him. Little dude pulled out a gun, got to shooting at the police. They retaliated, and he got hit down. The end.
All right, we're taking him into custody on the backside of IHOP. I got shot through my car. We'll take north on the red.
Police confirmed that shots were exchanged. The man was shot by police and later died at the hospital. No officers were hit.
All the officers are close for.
A gun was recovered at the scene. At least 6 law enforcement agencies assisted in directing traffic away from the busy area.
As I mentioned, those officers involved in this shooting are on leave. That is standard protocol in these types of situations. The BCA is taking over this investigation, and we did find out that the officers were wearing body cameras at the time. Back to you, Rena.
All right, Morgan, thank you.